this is a two-parter. So me and my mom, we like to read real ghost stories, or we did. I don't read them anymore. I kind of got cured of reading them, uh, just
Yeah.
because of seeing what I've seen or being around what I've been around. In fact, like me and my wife, we sat down the other day. We were looking at movies, and I was like, "Nope, that's a horror movie. I'm not watching it. I'm not going to watch that." But as a child growing up, I would watch things and I'd be okay. But now I'm not okay with any of that. I don't have to get back to it. I have friends that are like make fun of me because they're like, "Oh, it's just fake," and I've seen some stuff.
You're like, you're like, not
It's
entirely.
some things are not just I would say fake. So anyways, this situation is we've got a book in the library that was supposed to be real ghost stories. I tried to look it up the other day when I talked, see if I could find it, and I couldn't find the title of this book. I was just trying to look for it through obscure references from what the story was.
Sure.
But if anybody knows about it, hey, let me know. It's a creepy one.
Didn't you say
Um,
they were stories from Wisconsin?
so some of them were I reached out and I had asked they were all so I don't think they all are stories that are from Wisconsin. Some of them were. I can't figure out. So I looked into Wisconsin archives to see if this was one of them, and I don't know for sure if it is.
Okay,
But it could be anywhere from Ohio all the way to Wisconsin. I know these were all stories from the Midwest.
cool.
So yeah, and there were a lot of stories going around at the time too. We had this statue that was crying. There's a lot, and apparently that was legitimate. I had some friends that I worked with that saw it. Um, weird stuff happening in Wisconsin.
Oh yeah,
Um,
it's a hotbed.
oh yeah. Leads to another thing. We'll get to it in a second. Let's
Awesome.
finish this one out though. So there's a book. It's a Friday evening. My dad went to work, and it's summer, but I have the window closed, just kind of chilling in my room. I think there was a storm that was coming. Kind of feel like I remember that. I have my door close to my room. I'm just chilling, reading a book with the lights on. And this is just a lot of like stories about possession or ghost stories or stuff like that. Well, anyways, this story, brothers, I'm going to call them Ben and Mike.
Okay.
Those names stand out to me for some reason. But Ben's the older brother, Mike's the younger. They're house sitting. Uh, I don't remember whose house it is. I don't know if it's a neighbor's house sitting, and they're also dog sitting. Um, and they had a friend that showed up who just graduated and became like an Episcopal priest. And he jumps into the car with them into a Jeep, and they go over to this house that they're watching to kind of check it out because they let the dog out. Anyways, they show up at the house, and they open up the door, and the dog bolts out, terrified of being in the house. And they're like, it's fine. It's just needed to go to the bathroom. They started making their rounds inside, make sure all the doors, windows closed, all that good stuff. Ben's the older brother's walking around the bottom floor, and Mike just ran upstairs to make sure, lights are off, nothing's out of place. Well, Ben's done. He gets to the bottom of the stairs and calls to his brother, and his brother's not answering. So he's like, okay. So he goes upstairs. He's like, hey, we got to go. He sees his brother at the end of this hall looking into a room. So he goes and he's walks up beside his brother and he's like, what's going on? Kind of shakes him a little bit. And he looks at beyond him into the room and the TV is on, but it's on the classic blue screen
Ugh,
back in the day when TVs would be on blue.
like
So
poltergeist
it's just
style.
blue screen. Yeah. Ben walks past his brother, turns it off, looks back. His brother takes it off a little bit, and they walk out. They walk downstairs. They go in the car. No big deal. They go back to the house. Um, Ben's getting supper on, and so Mike's sitting in the room talking with the priest. The priest, I don't know if he laid a Bible on the table. Something triggered Mike. All of a sudden, Mike starts convulsing, flailing on the floor, and just starts freaking out. And the Episcopal priest, I don't know what his name, but he immediately believes that this is sort of demonic possession situation, and so he begins to chant in Latin some things about to cast out this demon. And all of a sudden, Mike freezes up and then speaks with a very loud and low voice and says, "Open the window." And
Oh,
so they open the window and they
yeah.
feel a wind. And whatever this thing is, well, I don't know what the end of the story is because I get to that point in reading and there's a wind in my room. And I have stuff hanging on the wall and I have stuff on shelves in my room, like six and that kind of stuff. And whatever this is going shelves and just knocking stuff off. I had a domino effect of books fall off, and then that hit a bow that I had hanging on the wall, and that just kept knocking stuff off. Well, anyways, I freaked out. I take the book and I throw it in the hallway. I shut my door, and I'm like, I don't know, just hunched down. The next day, I tell my mom, I'm like, we're not reading that crap anymore. And I tried to tell her like what happened. And she's like, "Well, I'm sure it's just trying to explain it away." I'm like, "No, like I had this weird, awful feeling as this is happening in front of me. I'm like, there was no wind. There's nothing to explain that. I don't have a fan in my room. Like there was nothing to explain what happened there. Just stop, just going off the walls.
No, and no windows were open, no door,
No
nothing
windows were
could
open.
have possibly
Yeah,
just a demon wind.
yeah.
The demon wind.
Well, I read wind in the book, and all of a sudden that wind was in my room.
Oh
So
my gosh. That is
super creepy.
horrifying.
It was
So horrifying.
amazing timing. Like if it was coincidence, a freakish coincidence. But yeah, it was quite creepy.